Everyone, Artosis here with the CasterMuse Star League. This is the round of 8, and it is a game number 3 of a best of 5 between Ruin and Yabsab. If you haven't seen the first couple games, I suggest you check them out. And they were interesting. Like, I mean, the first game was kind of wild with the with how it ended at the end with the massive drop from Yabsab. Second game was just killer instinct from Yabsab there as well, just breaking through immediately. I think Ruin made a couple wrong decisions when things started to go wrong, and it just snowballed out of control. But Yabsab showing his absolute level, just such a strong Zerg player. That being said, like I'm hoping that we have a better, longer game. I hope that Ruin can put his name on the board. You don't want to go out with an 0-3. The Yabsab is on that match point for a round of 4, which is huge. Now, the map is Ascension, aka 3-player Blue Storm. We've had great games on this map. I've definitely seen a lot of Zerg players trying things like Mass Hydra Lurker and controlling some of the high ground locations on this map and like pushing into Protoss third and stuff like that. We'll see if that's the way that Yabsab actually ends up wanting to play it. Probe gonna find him first, which is kind of nice. And what he scouts here is going to be, well, the pool goes down as soon as the probe scouts it. So now has some real intel. We'll see what Ruin's gonna do for his build. I think he's actually gonna go Nexus first. This probe can get smart enough to get out there. Yeah, and looks like it will be. So a nice lucky first scout there. You know, it is only a 3-player map, so you have a 50% chance to scout them first. And that allows him to get just, he kind of wins as far as the build orders go, right? Like if you see that you see the timing of your opponent's spawning pool and you can go for a Nexus before anything else, it's so nice. You're going to get a head start in your economy. And really that kind of goes for all matchups. Whoever gets their expansion up first is always in an advantageous spot. Now the forge goes down, doesn't have time to get a gateway out here. Zerglings definitely could make it across and cause him some real pain. Looks like only 2 Zerglings going to be made, and then a drone as well. The Overlord sees that there is a forge, so he knows that there's no way to actually do damage. But you want to make a couple lings anyways to jump on top of that probe and make sure that he does, in fact, make the cannon. All right, gateway goes on top of the forge. Cannon behind. And yeah, we're all good to go there for Ruin. I like his build order. I like what he's done and how he's adjusted so far. Gonna keep that probe alive as the lings run across the map. Third hatchery on location here for Yabsab at his third base before his natural is even done. And he's got his gas going, so we'll see where he wants to go with that. Does he want Zergling speed? Does he want to do some sort of Hydra bus just into lair? Honestly, based on the fact that he only made 2 Zerglings, I would say it's almost certain he's going to go into lair. Oh, great block there by Ruin. The Zergling just slips right by before the cannon is done, but the nice probes there stop it from getting any additional scouting intel or harassment done, so nice job by Ruin. But yeah, he also has the probe in the main base, right? So you can't really do things like throw down a Hydralisk Den or delay even your lair by getting Zergling speed first, because the probe will see that and the probe will know that. Right, the one remaining Zergling comes back to chase this probe, make him earn his keep. Pile on into the main base. Second gas. We've seen Ruin does like to get that second gas reasonably early. Just droning going on from Yabsab. Really the opposite of the previous game, right? Like as opposite as you can really get. A great economic opening from Ruin. Yabsab likewise just making only 2 Zerglings and going non-stop workers at this point. But he is starting to change that a little bit. 6 Zerglings on the way. And of course that has to do with this guy walking across the map. Ruin's first Zealot coming out to make sure that Yabsab is not going to play too greedy here. A few more lings come out for that flank. We also have the Stargate on the way. Spire has been started. We'll have to see where Yabsab wants to go. Is he just going to make a couple Scourge, or is he going to go more heavily into the Mutas? I feel like recently we've seen a lot of players very happy to go Mutalisks against Protoss, even against Corsairs, right? Like, we've seen a lot of that so far. Now, this Zealot's actually doing a great job. Look at this. He's denying a bit of mining time. Of course, he has some great locations he can go back and stand in. Have to flank him right there. Nice micro there from yabsab. Great micro, though, from Ruin. And look at that. I mean, he gets as much done with that as he can, but so does yabsab. So yabsab only loses one ling, but takes a bunch of damage. He just has it spread out amongst a few. So nice little trade on both sides. +1 air attacks as well as +1 ground on the way. Another pylon to make this a little bit smaller. Gonna hold position of probe here. Make sure that lings can't just slip in. Of course, if those lings ever did slip in, you'd be in some serious trouble as Ruin. Single Corsair out on the map. Looks like it should end up killing off a single Overlord once again. But with Scourge on the way, going to be sent packing. Ah, in Flyer Carapace. All right, cool. So we're definitely looking at a different game from what we saw before, but it looks the same, right? If you think back to the game number 1, like obviously the openings were a little bit different, but the tech looks similar. The timing of the hatcheries, and look, he made a Hydralisk den as he flew over with the Corsairs and then just canceled it as the Scourge came up because he knows that the Corsairs will not visit this area again. They have to fly out to the left. So beautiful mind game there. This means it is going to be Muta Scourge coming out of yabsab. He's got that +1 carapace on the way, which is really important, but it's slower than the +1 attack. So there's going to be a window there where the Corsairs do have that +1 attack. Oh my god. I just heard 2 Scourge blow up, which means that they killed a Corsair. That is a huge moment, actually, in a game like this. yabsab killing even a single Corsair slows that critical mass down significantly. Like, look, he has 3 here. He's about to have... Oh, he cancels more gateways. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Only 2 cannons at the front. You know what? He's been tricked. He's been duped by yabsab. That Hydralisk den, I'm sure he looked at that and said, you know what? Okay, yeah, it's going to be some Scourge, and he's going to go ahead and go into Hydras. Unfortunately for him, that is not the case. A lot of Scourge being made right now. Muta's starting to fly out, and now he catches him. Look at that. And already connects with a Scourge. One of those Corsairs solo is going to be able to chase 2 of them down. Or not. Gasp. This one Corsair gets away with so little health, and now the Mutas can make sure that the Zealots don't come over for any harassment. More Corsairs being made, but, I mean, his Corsairs have been really badly hurt, which means control of this map should mostly go to yabsab now. yabsab does have an evolution chamber and has started his +1 range. He's not going to stay on Mutas the whole time. He knows eventually he's going to have to go into Hydras. Single DT sent out on the map. Not a bad choice. Few speedlots running around. They probably want the Mutas to actually kind of chase them and keep them busy because he doesn't have that much defense at home, right? He lost those couple Corsairs already. Is powering up some High Templars with Storm. Adding in as many as he can. Zealot going up to visit that 4th base. The DT looking for a place to slip in. Maybe run in and kill a few drones over here. Yeah, that Corsair count. That could be a green Corsair, and he could have a couple more. Imagine 6 +1 Corsairs here. Much, much stronger. Now, that Flyer Carapace is done. It just finished up for yabsab. So, the Mutalisks and the Scourge can take much, much, much better fights against Corsairs at this point. That DT. Looks like it didn't end up getting any kills. Wow. Good defense from yabsab. Taking a look, we have Overlord speed on the way. Lurker aspect upgrade coming. And he's actually getting that very, very quickly. So it looks like he's going to focus more heavily on Lurkers. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, maybe he goes just Lurker with this, with the Mutalisks and the Scourge, right? Like, those will kind of keep everything back, and then he gets enough Lurkers and just kind of defends his positions. Of course, he will end up getting Hydra range and Hydra speed to go along with that as well. Okay, some Lurkers being made. This is a lot of Zealots that are out right now. And I mean, this just points towards how smart yabsab is to make as many Lurkers as he is. Like, he's really focusing all of his additional money into Lurkers. He's kind of spotted that this is so Zealot heavy. And if he just spreads like 4 Lurkers at each base, how are you going to do anything with this army? Well, the thing is, Ruin did already think of that as well. He's getting his range for Dragoons. He's pumping a ton of Dragoons right now, but we do not see a Robotics. So the Dragoons are partially here to counter the Mutas as well. But without a Robotics, like, you're just... the Lurkers are just going to shut off every location that they're at. Like, unless you have enough Storms to fight right through them, but that's not going to be the case. All right, Ruin starting to move out. Back at yabsab's home, getting +1 melee, getting +1 carapace. He already has +1 ranged attack, I believe. Let's just take a look. Yep, +1 ranged. Already did finish up. He's got the 4 bases, 60 drones. Dude, this looks so scary. Honestly, looking at the way that yabsab played this game, how do you fight back as Ruin? Well, Ruin does have a lot of army right now. He has a ridiculously large army. The problem is the Robotics just started. This is an issue. He is not going to have any detection, so it's all up to Psystorm or running by Lurkers to deal with them here. Now look at this. Pulls back, lets the Dragoons push back the Scourge a little bit. And here comes Ruin. Let's see what he can do. This army is indeed massive, right? He's down 12 supplies for his workers go, but then he's also up 27 supplies. So he's up like 40 army supply right now. Storm's going down. He knows that Lurkers are here. Great Storm on top of one of those Lurkers, but of course you need 2 Storms to knock them out. Just massacring any Hydras that come up to fight right now. Sending his Zealots up to that 4th base, but look at this. With the double sunken, with the Lurkers, he can't really break through. Another Storm goes down, but these are so perfectly spread. He's just not hitting them with... He's not hitting 2 Lurkers with 1 Storm, right? If he could do that, he could probably clear them all, but he's using secondary Storms to clear like a 2-hit point Lurker. So painful to see. So we just saw 6 Storms used here to clear 3 Lurkers. Still a much bigger army for Ruin. Observatory is on the way. He's making his 3rd Nexus, throwing down some cannons. He's playing a solid macro game here, but yabsab has just kind of out-teched him throughout. All right, gonna try to punch through this little hole, but a couple Lurkers await there as well. He's got to turn around. You really can't do too much against that. Dragoon's gonna pop an Lurker egg, but then rotate back to that high ground, I think. Like, this is the most powerful location on either side, because then you can dictate, like, oh, do we run down here and stop this little door? Do we attack the 3rd base? Do we attack the 4th base? Some great Storms starting to go down here. Look at that, getting the eggs a little bit as well, so won't let some of those Lurkers ever be born. But very low health Lurkers here, getting stormed once again. The only way to clear them out. Now, you can use an Archon and, like, target a Zealot or something that's on top of the Lurker for the splash damage, but you start to get pretty darn cost inefficient with moves like that. Let's see if that's going to be the play. Nope, just going to stay back, spread out. Taking a look at yabsab's base. Dude, his ZVP looks so strong. Consume already on the way. I mean, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future, and already looking as such against Ruin. Huge set of Lurkers here, burrowed. Where is that first observer? Here it is. This is key to this game. He has got to get this up here and not lose it. Let's take a look. A Scourge here waiting, certainly for the observer. Does he have any more around? I'm not actually sure. Defiler's coming out, though. Going to make it very, very difficult indeed. Consume just about to finish, and here we go. Throws the Storm down. He's bringing up the Observer here as well. The Zergling's getting on top of absolutely everything. Some Consumes going down. The Zergling's getting shredded there. Okay, starts to move forward, but the Darkstorm goes down, so the Dragoon's not adding damage anymore underneath. Zerglings continue to attack up kind of alone there. A little bit wasteful from yabsab. You can see those Adrenalings doing such a great job. Defiler consuming up once again. All right, Lurker's going to start moving forward to support as well. Throws down another Darkstorm. Great Psystorm here. They are more clumped this time. See, the perfect spreading, though. Doesn't quite get this one with the additional. But with the Observer here, can clean it up a little bit quicker. Ruin, during this time, has taken a 4th base. He's got some decent defenses around. Continuing to upgrade. Don't see a 2nd Forge as of yet, but adding some more gates. Keeping his macro flowing. still up 38 army supply right now. So at least that is something for him. But with those Defilers out, it just gets so difficult. Nidus going down. That Nidus, I think, is going to be for this base up here. So taking a 5th, that's kind of frightening here for Ruin. I believe we're going to see some Overlord drops coming, guys. Overlord speed is all set. And we'll see if he tries that big drop tactic once again. Plague is done, going down onto some of this Protoss army. Still maintaining this kind of containment against yabsab, but yabsab is going to start grinding him down some with these plagues. So we're at the position where we need Ruin to like get some damage done. And I'm not sure how he's going to do it. It's very hard to break into these areas. But speed shuttles are generally the way that you want to go about it. Take a look at the robo. He is starting to produce some shuttles. I don't actually see the support base, so he's not going to have speed as of yet. But that is important, so Scourge don't just massacre them. All right, a massive drop is being set up. You can see these Overlords filling up. Something yabsab showed us in game 1 is super powerful, and he really quite likes. All right, sending this drop down now. Group of Zealots is hitting this 12 o'clock base, so that's going to be a very strong kill on the hatchery. Very important as well. Cannot let him get that 5th base. Now here comes the Zealot drop, but is going to see an incoming huge amount of Overlords, and down they come. Dark Swarm being let out. There are Zealots here as well as Psystorm. Got to see that cast pretty quickly. The cannon's not going to do a whole hell of a lot here. All right, Zealots getting on top of a lot of these Lurkers. Seems like he is going to save this. In the meantime, he did kill 12 o'clock. Very important moment here for Ruin to make sure he does not lose this base. Is going to lose some of the probes, some of the cannons, but brings enough down to hold on. Again, just so important to see. These cannons amazingly useless under the Dark Storm. All right, Ruin gonna move back towards the center of the map. Some speedlings coming down. Two upgrades on them right now. Actually out upgrading the Zealots. Very painful to see. All right, Plague goes down onto the Dragoons. Gonna try to run away with these Defilers. So many Plagues popping out. Even has Defiler energy at this point. All right, Zealot's going to try to enter into this high ground. This is the rally now. If he can take this over, that will be huge for him. Look at that. Getting on top of some of these Lurkers before they even burrowed. Throwing down a beautiful Psystorm against these clumped units. All right, going forward with another Dark Storm here as well. But the Storm's starting to eat them alive. The Dragoons need to be pulled back. Ruin is starting to be extremely efficient here. Really great to see, honestly. Look at this. Even making the Archons not losing those High Templars that have already spent their storms. Pulling back Dragoons when there is Dark Storm there as well. Another flank coming up, and you can see the macro engine here of yabsab is really starting to flow. He's on the same number of workers as Ruin is. So Ruin right now does have to pull back, at least for the time being. Needs to reinforce his army really heavily as well. Upgrades continuing to finish here for both sides. And look at that. We've got 2-1-2 upgrades now. Even Plasma Shield upgrades. Definitely going to be helpful. Still, those Plasma Shields a little bit weak in the late game against these Cracklings. All right, big arc of Lurkers coming out right now. Another Plague goes down. Of course, Protoss, no way to heal through Plague, unfortunately. So, really a brutal spell to play against. That Archon somehow, some way stays alive and pulls back. Kind of funny seeing these Hydras fight right now. Being added in smaller numbers later on in the game. You have that +2 ranged attack coming as well. Dark Swarm going down. These storms are insanity. There are so many stacked up Lurkers as yabsab tries to go for it like a killing maneuver here. Look at this, getting ready to take another base. Now, during this time, this hatchery has gone back up. He's thrown down a Nidus, has a bunch of drones here as well. So that 5th base looks secured now for yabsab, which, of course, Ruin is trying to do that as well. Having a hard time, though, against this constant Defiler pushing coming up. Some more, more Plagues being cast on those Dragoons. Nothing quite as sad as a Plague Dragoon under a Dark Storm, I tell you. Another Storm going down. Really needs to continue to rally these units up. You see the supplies getting closer and closer and closer, and that is always bad news bears for the Protoss players. Zerg units just so efficient. Look at this, continually rallying in. The production of yabsab is just about non-stop at this point. A lot of Archon Zealots and High Templars in here, so still a very powerful army being fielded here from Ruin. He's just got to completely clear this area. You see the Defiler's still left alive. Storms coming down once again. Just a non-stop scuffle in the center. And finally, Ruin will clear out everything in this area. And that should allow him to get this base up and mining. An epic macro game going on right now. Catches a few Zerglings over to the side here. Gonna easily eliminate those. Now, oh! Sorry, missed that. Looks like he did get a little bit of a pick off there. I think it was actually just probably a sunken or a spore. Some Lings still trying to run around the map a bit, but great upgrades here. Gonna help out against him quite a bit. Trying to assassinate some High Templars. Ooh, almost gets that one down to 13 health. The Observer just kind of checking out where things are at. Now, where does Ruin try to attack to next? He has a slightly bigger army, and obviously it's a bit more mobile than this Lurker-based army, but it can be hard to break through these spots. Runs through this small area, trying to get an engagement in here. Down the ramp, everything comes. Huge Psystorms going down. Amazingly good Psystorms, but there is a flank coming, so he decides to pull back through the tiny choke. Looks like he will end up losing Archon. A little bit sloppy there as he's trying to run. Some good storms once again. Feels like endless Psystorms this game. All right, speed shuttles are done. He's starting to add in Reavers as well. So Ruin unafraid to get up into those really supreme late game army compositions. Excited to see what he can get done with the Reavers at this point. Oh, the Zergling Assassins take out a couple High Templars. Here comes another spread of Lurkers with Hydras coming up. All right, the speed shuttle with 3 High Templars going up towards that 12 o'clock base. In the meantime, a huge amount of units coming down. He has to save this base. You can't go down to 4 bases right now. In the meantime, we did have another little drop over here. Looks like it doesn't end up doing that much. Taking out some static D once again. The Hydra's almost getting cleaned here. More units coming up. Here's that High Templar drop. Oh, beautiful drop on those drones, dealing a ton of damage to that base, economically speaking. But again, he must keep this base alive as well. And yabsab is just attacking as the Zerg do. A swarm coming in. The probes getting pulled now, running through Lurker spines. Quite a few end up dying there as they get out, but more Zealots coming up for this reinforcement. Some Overlords coming in. This is actually a fake drop. It's nothing in those right now. And look at this, he is running back, a little bit afraid of it. The Hydras and Lurker chasing them back a little bit. All right, a couple Dark Templars in this shuttle now. We'll see where he can send those. We'll try to keep an eye on that. High Templars added in as well. And unfortunately, that 5th base for Ruin going to go down. And that's really painful because he's not mining here. He's not mining here. This base is actually still okay. And obviously this base still with a lot of minerals. But losing that 5th is painful. All right, flies up here. Let's out a couple DTs. DTs look like they might be headed to this natural. The speed shuttle with the High Templars, maybe towards that main, maybe towards this 4th base. Not really entirely sure as of yet. Well, we're about to find out. And yeah, he's going to get on top of these drones. Very quick reaction speed there. Still shredding quite a few. Oh, that would have been juicy. 8 drones left over there. These mineral patches, actually, yabsab has mined out quite a bit as well. The DT's getting in now. Oh my god, look at this. 7 kills. 7 kills there. This DT dealing huge amounts of damage. Almost every drone has already been killed here. Ruin with a huge harassment move. Oh my god. This DT is amazing. 17 kills already. In the meantime, bringing his army into the center of the map. Can he take over this area? Only a couple Lurkers, so he will secure it. 19 kills on that Dark Templar. Killing off every drone at this base. The drones up here somewhat saved at least. Catching a couple Defilers in the middle of the map. Can he kill them off before they plague him? Yes, he can. Ruin. Is he going to have the ultimate comeback here? The army supply is actually very, very close. Both sides have been hurt economically quite a bit, really. Yabsab sending his drones mostly there. He's mined out on his first 3 bases. Another important moment here as he retakes his 5th. Ruin needs to hold that. Now, the Defilers definitely, they see what's up here. Throws down a plague there, throws down another plague, so pretty decent. A little bit of harassment towards that 5th. We have this base. Yep. High energy, high Templar, very important. Not much over here, but that's kind of in the middle, so you don't need it as much. All right, it looks like he's heading up towards this base. Now, it doesn't have the most minerals, but it might have the least defense. Well, I think it did have the least defense until these Lurkers moved up into position. So maybe time to turn around and go elsewhere. Looks like that's exactly what Ruin's going to do. Some more Defilers coming out with high energy. All right, Plague goes down. Another plague there. Oh, man, just everything getting plagued right now. What is this, the Middle Ages? Ruin looks like he wants to bring this to a head. Doesn't feel like the situation's getting better for him right now, even though he is retaking that 5th base. All right, running forward with the Psy Storms. Getting on top of a lot of these Lurkers. Coming forward now. The Dark Storm's going down just about everywhere. The Lurker count is huge, but so are the Psy Storms. All over the place. Lings flooding in. Can these Zealots defend underneath this? The Dragoons adding almost nothing to this battle. Another great storm goes down onto the Lurkers, and he's starting to push through, but a flank coming up to take care of these Dragoons. And I think that's just about all she wrote. GG, Yabsab moves on 3-0.